What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Locke'd In Sports podcast. I'm William Locke, coming to you from Chicago, Illinois. And as always, we have Luis Barranco joining me today on this Monday morning. Luis, how you doing?
Bang. Happy Monday. William, how are you doing? How are you doing this Monday?
He loves this little cadence he's got going on. I'm doing well. Weekend was good. Back in Chicago, was in Louisville over the weekend for a wedding, as I mentioned on the last episode. So yeah, it was a good weekend. A lot of driving, but got it done.
Yeah, how many baseball diamonds did you see out there, like, on the way? Like, you hadn't seen a couple. Like, you're in America's heartland, you know?
There were a lot passing on the road. A lot of them in Indianapolis, Indiana area. Not a ton in Chicago, Northwest Indiana, but yeah, did see a few. Saw a few in Louisville. The Louisville Bat Stadium, actually drove past that. So I did see quite a few.
Yeah. Does Indianapolis still exist or not yet?
Why? What do you mean? Oh, because of the game on Saturday night?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I guess we were there on Saturday, driving through Saturday morning and then Sunday morning. So yeah, it is still standing. Exciting weekend for them.
Exciting weekend. What an exciting weekend it was this weekend. I mean, we had a lot of great baseball. I got to see a lot of the Yankee game. I got to see a lot of the other series and, got a little bit of College World Series involved.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you got some of that in you, but,
I did, yeah, yesterday when we got back, watched the Kentucky game. Actually, they got eliminated, so that's unfortunate. But we watched a lot of that on Sunday. Women's College World Series is going on too, so we'll get to that at the end of the episode. It is June 2nd, so we got Team of the Month for June that we're going to get into. We're going to talk about the Yankees and the Dodgers, their series in Los Angeles this weekend, and also going to be recapping the rest of the series from around Major League Baseball this weekend. But
that we do. It is, it is an exciting time. We're already a third of the way through the MLB season. All-Star break's only a month away, which is pretty crazy. All-Star break's only like around 6 weeks away. So, man, Where has this season gone? Let's talk about the weekend that was for the Yankees. As always, we always come into the podcast and give a review of what the Yankees have done in the past week. We have our resident Yankee aficionado, William Locke, and we will talk about the weekend that was for the New York Yankees. And the New York Yankees this weekend faced the evil empire that is the Los Angeles Dodgers, the reigning World Series champions, LA Dodgers, and also the rematch of last year's World Series. We'll go game by game and discuss. Friday night, the Yankees had Max Fried on the mound, and Dodgers won 8-5. Max Fried was not in particularly strong, and ERA Dos Santos and Boone's bullpen management struck again. William, were you able to see Max Fried blow up on Apple TV?
It was kind of annoying that this game was on Apple TV, to be honest. And it started at 10:10 Eastern. Like, it's the biggest series of the season so far, World Series rematch. Can we maybe put it at even 8 Eastern instead of 10:10 Eastern? I was on, obviously, Central Time at that point, but still, like, just ridiculously late. Like, 10% of baseball fans probably have Apple TV Plus. If not, everyone else was watching it on Streamies. Like, not many people had access to this game, and it was a really fun start with Judge going yard in the top of the first, and then Ohtani going yard in the bottom of the first. It's like, okay, here we go. Yeah, it was definitely a struggle for Fried. 5 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 75 pitches. His ERA is now up, air quotes, to a 192. Still great season for him. That was his first loss of the season. He's now 7-1. But yeah, he struggled. Just didn't have command of his stuff. Ohtani got to him twice, left 2 pitches out over the plate. The first one Ohtani took the other way for a home run, and then the second one he pulled for a home run. Like, Ohtani, great weekend for him, especially on Friday. And yeah, I mean, Fried struggled. Goldie hit another home run, but this one was, still in the realm of possibility for the Yankees to win when Fried left the game. But the bullpen, De Los Santos and Hedrick. Well, Hedrick was fine, but it was really De Los Santos that kind of lost the game for the Yankees. And it's like, you're wondering why Boone couldn't have gone to maybe some higher leverage dudes in those situations when the game was still within reach. That was kind of the main takeaway from game one, in my opinion.
Well, my takeaway from game one is, I know you talked about how awful, Apple TV, but it actually saved me that I was on Apple TV. I was at a concert venue on Friday night, and I actually met a Mets fan, which is a story to give you out. I met a Mets fan, and it got a little dicey in there. You were talking to the Mets fan, but that's a story we'll talk about. Whatever. So I had a game up on my phone. I was at this concert venue. I had tacos in my other hand, and I was eating tacos at a concert, and I was actually able to watch. What I don't understand about Aaron Boone is like, first off and foremost, I understand De Los Santos has done a great job, earning trust in his prior outings, but like, why is he the first guy you're calling out of the bullpen in a tight game? Like, why? Like, what's the deal with that? Like, yet again, Aaron Boone with this Mickey Mouse uh, bullpen management strikes again. Like, you couldn't have put in Mark Leiter Jr. You could have not have put in, I don't know. It just, I know you don't have Fernando Cruz and you're kind of limited in your right-handers, and you don't want to toss out Devin Williams in a non-setup situation. And I know you don't want to set up Mark Leiter Jr. So it's kind of like, who do you toss out? Like, who?
Yeah, and everyone was essentially available at that point.
You had an off day the day before. That's the
Yeah,
other thing too. You forget. It's just like the whole bullpen got reset on Thursday because of the off day that they had. So there's no excuses to, toss out whoever they tossed out. I mean, they tossed out Johnny Loizaga for one hit for 3 hitters, and that's going to be something we got to talk about. We got to talk about Johnny Loizaga.
yep.
Johnny Loizaga, I know I gave him a lot of flack 2 weeks ago and over text, but like his control and his stuff, his sinkers in is something that it's just like it's almost a hit by pitch. And I don't know how much more run they're going to give him till they actually realize that he's not right and not controlling his stuff.
Yep.
Because it's getting to the point where it's just like, okay, I understand like he has his leash because of the contract that they gave him and they want to make it work with Johnny. But at some point, you literally have to like, take a step back and evaluate your options and look like, okay, this guy just isn't cutting it right now. And I'm not saying he's awful. He's not the levels of other pitchers, but something's up.
Yes. 7 appearances on the season. He has a 4.05 ERA. Struggled again last night. Pitched an inning. Gave up 2 home runs. And then, obviously the Colorado outing, gave up an earned run there. Struggled on Friday against the Dodgers. Just not good enough. Not good enough. And like I said, I think on the last episode, the slider or the sinker in reminds me a lot of Clay Holmes when he couldn't control the sinker and just running in on righties, almost to the point, like you said, where it's a hit by pitch. Yeah, I am a little concerned about the bullpen from what we've seen this weekend. Obviously, Cruz seems like he's coming back soon, which I think is going to be very welcome. But now you got Weaver with a hamstring injury that popped up yesterday. He was warming up before one of the later innings and said he couldn't go because his hamstring was tightened up on him. Now he's going to get some imaging, I think, today when they're back in New York. But bullpen's been a little shaky, I think, certainly over this weekend against the Dodgers. We can talk about the Saturday game.
Well,
I guess.
that's gonna talk about Saturday. It's gonna present my biggest point. I mean, they lost 18-2, and I get it, but I just felt like, for example, 18-2. Will Warren wasn't great. Brett Hendrick wasn't.
I think wasn't great is a little bit of an understatement on Will Warren.
I mean, I just think this is my opinion on Saturday's game. Somebody on Twitter, I forgot who I read it was, said it best, but the team's been out of New York for a week and a half. Being on the road and add to the fact that they've been on a heater for the past 2 weeks, like this was coming. They're like game was coming. It's like the Max Fried start.
That was coming for sure. Yes.
So this was coming. I know 18-2 isn't great, but my whole point is that when you have games like that, you should just blow up the tape. Just blow it up.
Burn it.
It's like I bet you in high school when you guys lost by a lot. I don't think you guys ever lost that badly in high school, your baseball team, but I know there was games that the manager and your coach would be like, all right, guys, like we're not going to talk about the last game. It happened. Let's just move on.
Yeah,
seek improvement, and I feel like that's the game on Saturday. And think about it too, like this is the Dodgers lineup. Like this is not like the Rockies. You're not doing it against the Rockies or a central block team. Like this is the Dodgers, who top 5 lineup in baseball to most.
and they didn't even have Mookie Betts, who broke his toe stubbing it at his home on Wednesday. He was out for this series, and that lineup was still terrifying. And we saw what it can do on Saturday, putting up 18 runs. I mean, the game was over after the second inning when it was 10-0.
Yeah, he fractured his toe. Look what they still did. So
the only highlights from this one for the Yankees on Saturday were obviously the 2 Judge home runs. He's now up to 21 on the season. Now he's 2 behind the leader, Cal Raleigh, who had a huge weekend, which we'll talk about him a lot later. Yeah, like you said, I think this is just one that you scratch it, you burn it, you don't talk about it. You know, it's something that, I don't know, maybe it needed to happen, to be honest. Maybe the Yankees needed to get a little bit of a wake-up call on Saturday, and maybe it's a message to the front office like, hey, we need more pitching still. Despite, how good the rotation has been over the past month or so, this is, and Aaron Judge said it before the series, like he said this series is going to be a measuring stick series for the Yankees. And Friday and Saturday, it felt like, okay, like the Dodgers still have our number. The Dodgers are just a team that the Yankees cannot get over the hump on, losing by 16 runs, getting outscored 26-7 in the first 2 games of the series. You really felt that. And I think the way they answered on Sunday was absolutely massive, because on paper, you had the Dodgers' best pitcher in Yamamoto, one of the best pitchers in the league, heading into that game on Sunday Night Baseball versus Ryan Yarbrough, who, obviously he has been really good over the last month or so. But on paper, that's a huge, matchup in favor of the Dodgers. And you were hoping, if you're a Yankee fan, like you win the Fried start, you see what happens on Saturday, and then you probably lose Sunday. But it worked out the complete other way. The Yankees won 7-3 on Sunday Night Baseball. The Dodgers could not touch Ryan Yarbrough. He was outstanding. He generated 17 swings and misses, seven of which came on the sweeper. Only the Pirates' Paul Skeens had 18. He had 18. Has induced more swing and misses from the Dodgers in a game this season. So it's just, we talked about Yarbrough a lot on the last episode, but it's just funny that this guy, he didn't even hit 90 miles an hour in this game. This guy that's just a junk ball pitcher, total change of pace, completely stifled the Dodgers offense on Sunday night. And we can talk about Yamamoto too. He struggled with command, couldn't get his stuff going. It was his worst start of the season so far. And it was a good win for the Yankees, and they salvaged the series, ended up being a successful West Coast road trip. You can fly home with a little bit better taste in your mouth, instead of, had they got swept on Sunday night, it would have been a sad flight home across the country.
Yeah, no, I think what's frustrating is that Friday game. I think that's another loss. I know Yankee loss, Yankee way loss type of vibes on Friday. I do feel like, what happened was that, Fried just wasn't great. And I mean, the lineup did its job. It's just that the bullpen didn't, wasn't able to mitigate the damage set forth in the prior.
Yeah, that Friday game reminded me a lot of Game 1 of the World Series, where the Yankees jumped out to a lead, and then the bullpen kind of cratered toward the end of the game.
I thought last night did, with Tim Hill striking out Freddie Freeman.
What should have been? What should have been? How different would the baseball landscape look right now if Aaron Boone went to Tim Hill instead of Nestor Cortez in Game 1 last season?
Hey, I don't know, but it's just like I look at Friday's game, and I was at the concert venue watching the game. Everybody was kind of mad at me because I was watching the game, and I'm like, I got a baseball podcast I do on Monday morning, so get real, get it.
I respect the grind. I had it on a little bit at the wedding on Saturday, and I'm like, all right, it was it was like 10-0. I'm like, all right, I don't need to worry about this game anymore. Slightly affected my mood at the wedding, but it's like, whatever. I don't need to watch this game anymore.
It was a 5-5 game when I tuned in. Now, I don't understand with the Yankees is, okay, like I understand Yarbrough De Los Santos is kind of like the lowest guy on the totem pole, but like, what does he deserve to get optioned and bring back Carlos Carrasco?
Dude.
I'm not saying anything bad about Carlos Carrasco. The whole point is like Yarbrough De Los Santos wasn't awful. He was okay. And it's the freaking Dodgers. Of course, more often than not, relief pitchers are going to get shelled by the Dodgers.
Yeah, De Los Santos has a 3 ERA on the season, had a 3.18 after the Dodgers game, was good against, Texas, Colorado, and the Angels, and then struggled on Friday night, sure, but he shouldn't even have been in that situation, in my opinion. He's a low leverage reliever. He's not a Mark Leiter. He's not a Devin Williams. He's not a Luke Weaver, whatever. And then, Carrasco got called up on Sunday or Saturday night. I'm like, really? Like,
they made that.
What are we doing here?
They made that guy fly all the way from Scranton to LA for one day. It's like,
yeah,
dude, what are we doing here? It's not like there's an injury to the rotation. Everybody knew that Yarbrough was going to pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew that Yarbrough was going to pitch, and Yarbrough, if we were to have a playoff game today, he'd be game 3 starter easily, without a question.
Yeah, and I think last episode you said it was Will Warren, and I think that flips for sure. And right now, Yarbrough, no doubt, game 3 starter. Who's your game 2 guy? It's Fried, Rodon, Yarbrough, 3 lefties.
I mean,
yeah, you don't have anything else right now.
My question is, do you think Will Warren was tipping pitches on Saturday?
Could have been.
Okay. Now, my next question to you is, who is it Yarbrough, Rodon, and Fried, your 3 safe guys?
Safe guys like that aren't going to get
in the rotation right now.
Like the guys, the guys you feel good about, or the guys that aren't going to get cut when.
Because my thing is
comes back.
By next week, in the next 2 weeks, there's going to be Heel, there's going to be Heel back, there's going to be Warren, and Schmidt.
Yeah, there's too many guys in the rotation, I think.
And Stroman. Don't forget Stroman too. Stroman was thrown out this weekend in LA, so you're going to have a battle royale for 2 spots or 3 spots whatever you consider Yarbrough.
I think it would be harsh to cut Warren, considering how good he was in the month of May. It would be harsh to cut him after one just blow up start. Everyone has a blow up start. I mean, we saw a ton of blow up starts across the major leagues that we'll get to this on the rest of this episode.
Don't remind me. The amount of blow up starts that have happened this weekend. My ERA in fantasy baseball was at 3.25, which ranked up at the first or second place in the league. You know what it's at now?
Like around a 4.
It's 3.5. So I went up, a quarter of a ERA point, and I'm now 5th or 4th in the league for it.
Yeah, a lot of blow up starts. I think you should allow Warren to have a blow up start. It's going to be tough to see what they do. I think it would probably be between Warren and Schmidt, but you do need some righties in that rotation because it does feel left-handed dominant. I do have a note on Warren from the Saturday game, and I don't know if this probably hurt Warren, but Gerrit Cole's been hurt the whole season, so he's kind of been a mentor for a lot of these young pitchers. And he was talking to Warren before the game on Saturday, and he told him, quote, "You're going to have the most adrenaline in your life, so just go ahead and wrap your mind around that." And then he followed up basically saying, Warren nodded, attempting to absorb each nugget from a veteran who has been there. Cole called pitching in Dodger Stadium as a rookie a big time deal. He said, noting that there might be 50,000 people sharing their opinions of each warm-up pitch. Why would you tell a rookie pitcher that? Why? I feel like that advice does not help at all. Maybe the part that he's going to have a lot of adrenaline and like, okay, there's going to be a lot of things going for you. You're going to be really nervous. Blood's going to be pumping. Heart's going to be pumping in this game. But do you really have to tell him that 50,000 people in the stadium are going to be talking about every single little thing you do on the mound? I don't know if that's the best advice.
To each their own, my guy. To each their own.
Yeah, and Cole's been great to the staff this year, helping them. He's a true veteran.
I mean, like I said, I feel generally I would grade this weekend to be a 5 or 6 out of 10.
I give it a 5. Yeah, Friday was winnable. Saturday you burned the tape, and then Sunday was a great win to bounce back. I have some other notes from Sunday's game. Yarbrough is 3-0 with a 2.08 ERA, only 6 earned runs in 26 innings pitched across 5 starts since being plugged into the Yankees rotation. Max Muncy said, quote, Max Muncy had a really good weekend, by the way. He said he might only be throwing mid-80s, but it feels so much harder than that. He's a tall guy. He's got long arms, so he's got good extension. He's got the funky delivery with the low slot, so it always makes his ball feel a lot harder than what it actually is. The shadows were kind of weird too at that hour in Dodger Stadium. And then on Yamamoto, it was his first time failing to get through 5 innings pitched this season. So in his previous start at Cleveland, Yamamoto dealt with a minor hip thing that affected his mechanics. Apparently, he said his spotty command on Sunday did not have anything to do with his health. He said, "quote My condition was good; it was not bothering me at all, and I was able to get into the game without any issues." I'm throwing that out there. I know they're downplaying it, but if he struggled against Cleveland, he struggled worst start of the year for him against the Yankees on Sunday Night Baseball. Could be something there with Yamamoto. And we know the last thing the Dodgers need is an injury to a pitcher because they have 15 pitchers on the injured list right now, which is just ludicrous.
I mean, they'll just go trade for one.
They did trade for Alexis Diaz on Friday, but everyone was freaking out about that. But he's been in AAA for like basically the whole season.
Yeah. Now my question is, Saturday, Dalton Rushing, local product, hit his first career home run off Pablo Reyes. Does that count, or is there like an asterisk on that home run?
I saw, I think it was Brian Hoke mentioned that Mark Teixeira said they all count the same on the back of my baseball card. No one remembers who you hit him against, and I kind of take that opinion. I think, of course, it counts.
DJ LeMahieu, what do you feel about DJ LeMahieu other than Sunday's game?
4-hit game on Sunday Night Baseball. 2 ribbies. He came through for the Yanks.
You know he's gonna get all like the Jazz is probably back tomorrow. You know they're gonna give DJ like every single opportunity to win the second base job all the way to the deadline.
He's regardless of what he is doing at the plate. I mean, he's hitting 239 with a 640 OPS. He's gonna get every single opportunity at the plate, like you said. He's going to be at second base no matter what, basically, until the deadline.
To acquire somebody. Peraza's defense does not justify enough to be out there as a major league everyday hitter. And the same thing with Vivas as well. So those two will be.
Yeah. They need another infield that's clear.
Jason Dominguez.
Yeah.
What do you think about that injury?
Left the game with finger contusion?
Thumb contusion.
Thumb contusion? It's a bruised thumb. He'll be fine. He's a young guy. I'm not worried about that one.
What if he goes on the IL?
I think the one place we have depth to cover that is outfield. I know he'd been heating up a little bit over the last couple of weeks, really dating back to like the game against the A's where he hit 2 home runs, but I think the Yankees will be fine with Bellinger, Grisham, and Judge. Grisham has been cooling off a little bit, but he did hit that 2-run shot on Friday. But I don't think – I think Dominguez will be fine. Got the day off today, ice it, rest it, maybe take a week off or so, but it's not too concerning.
Yeah.
I have some other injury notes. Mentioned Fernando Cruz earlier, expected return June 3rd. He threw a 20-pitch bullpen session on May 28th, and then live BP Saturday at Dodger Stadium, saying he was pleased with his velo, could be activated this upcoming homestand. Jazz looks like he's going to be activated on June 3rd. He's been doing a rehab stint in AA Somerset. Was 3 for 9 with a double, 2 runs and a walk in 3 rehab games this weekend in Somerset. He's going to be activated this upcoming homestand, so he's back.
Pumping the George Lombard hype train while he was at Somerset.
Yes, he had some promising quotes about George Lombard. Giancarlo Stanton says possibly return in June. He took 6 or 7 live ABs in Tampa on May 30th, and then and through the weekend could begin a minor league rehab assignment or remain in Tampa, continuing to log at bats there. Jake Cousins is going to begin a minor league rehab assignment on June 3rd, so that's tomorrow on Tuesday. He was in Tampa to continue building his workload. He has right pectoral discomforts. He experienced that early May. And then, on Stroman, 38 pitches in live BP Saturday at Dodger Stadium. No set date to begin pitching in games. The Yankees are slow playing Stroman because they don't want him to hit that 140 innings pitched.
Hey, all I know is the wish list does not change. The Christmas wish list, the July wish list does not change. It is right-handed, infield bat. At this point, we might have to ask the question: do the Yankees need another right-handed bullpen arm with Johnny Loiza's performances? I mean, lefty's a given because they don't have a lefty other than Tim Hill. but do they need to go find another righty? I know, and don't come up with a BS answer and say like, "Oh, you can never have enough. You can never have enough bullpen arms. The more the merrier." It's like NFL coaches say, "Yeah, the more DBs we have, the better." Why not?
I think they would tell you, well, we got Jake Cousins back. We got Fernando Cruz coming back off the injured list. But yeah, Loaiza is going to get a ton of run because of the contract. And it's only been 7 appearances for him. So I'd give him some time. If he continues to struggle into July, yeah, then maybe you pose the question, okay, maybe we need to go out and get a guy. And I think there was an option on the Loaiza deal. Yeah, he has a club option for next season for $5 million. So it could, in theory, if he really struggles this season, just be a 1-year deal for Loaiza. I think left-handed bullpen, no doubt. Maybe another right-handed bullpen guy, and then I think a right-handed starter is a need. And again, that could be Luis Gil when he comes back. But who knows? He's coming off kind of seems like a major injury with the lat. We'll see what he looks like when he returns.
King of the Heel should be back soon, though.
Hopefully.
Week. King of the Heel, they need it. They need it. But
on Heel, the injury report on MLB.com says possibly a June or July return. He tossed 15 pitches from a bullpen mound on May 30th in New York, his first time doing so since February 28th. Boone called it another good step for Heel, who will now have a schedule of bullpens and live batting practice sessions to build necessary stamina. And then there's like JP Brubaker, Oswaldo Cabrera got surgery, Gerrit Cole, they're saying 14-month recovery for him from the data surgery, which was May 6th, May 5th. So early, or no, sorry, he went Tommy John surgery on March 11th. And then on May 5th, he said he expects to resume playing catch in August and then a 14-month recovery for him. So that would put him back like sometime May, June of next year.
Doesn't matter next year.
Why?
It doesn't matter next year.
Next year, not this year, for sure, obviously. Yeah.
But good weekend for the Yankees. I mean, it's okay.
Okay.
I mean, Friday gives you a lot of confidence.
Friday does. I think yesterday gives you a lot of confidence. I don't know about
Friday does too. You understand? Like, I was protecting the Yankees on Friday against the Mets fan at the concert venue. It was tough, but I held my ground. I held my ground.
I just hope that they don't play them. If the Yankees make the World Series, I hope it's not the Dodgers, because we know they're going to be a completely different team by then with whatever the hell they do at the deadline. They're going to get guys healthy. It's going to be a lot different team than what they have now. The Dodgers are pretty depleted, certainly with the rotation right now, and they're still one of the best teams in the sport.
Yeah, and that's a perfect segue. Let's talk about Team of the Month. Me and William sit down every month, and we decide on who has been the best players in the game of the major leagues, who has been the best major leaguers in the month of May at each position. And without further ado, me and William will announce the Team of the Month. There'll be a graphic posted up on our Instagram if you would like if you're a visual learner and representation. So we will go ahead and now release it. William, would you like to open up with the catcher?
Yes, catcher, drum roll. No surprise, it's Cal Raleigh. Cal Raleigh,
big dumper, man.
Big dumper. He leads the major leagues in home runs right now with 23 on the season. He hit 12. I'm looking at Fangraphs and I can't believe this is accurate, but May of 2025, he hit 12 home runs in the month of May. This guy he's putting together a season that I don't think anybody really expected. We knew he had the power. He hit 34 home runs last season, but 23 so far in 2025. He hit 2 home runs on Friday, another home run on Saturday, and another home run on Sunday, which was June. So obviously it didn't count toward his May total. But he's been electric. 304 batting average in the month of May, 228 WRC plus, 2.2 Fangraph WAR. Led catchers by a large margin. If you look at his Savant page, it's a sea of red. The only thing that maybe works against him is the K rate. Strikes out 27% of the time, but he's playing really good defense, framing, blocking. Not the best pop time. Runners can kind of steal a base on him, but that's okay. He's doing everything else. His expecting batting average is a tick below where he should be or where he is right now. That average exit velocities are elite. He's barreling the ball. Like, this is a much needed season from Cal Raleigh, because we know the Mariners are in first place, but J-Rod has been not all-star MVP J-Rod's, form. Cal Raleigh is arguably putting himself in the running for the American League MVP this year. I know Aaron Judge has been impeccable, but Cal Raleigh could finish second, third, maybe fourth, depending on how he finishes out the rest of the season. He's been elite. He's been so much fun to watch for me personally, because he's on my fantasy team. Every single day it feels like I get a notification that Cal Raleigh has hit another home run. So enjoying him so far this season. And he had a hell of a month of May, not even close for our catcher of the month.
Yeah, big dumper. Who's better, Buster Posey or Cal Raleigh?
Whoa, that's a loaded question. I mean, Buster Posey is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Okay, but Cal Raleigh, FSU graduates right here.
That's true. Maybe FSU is catcher you. We talked about that on the last episode. It's the Yankees, but
we're not doing that one. We're gonna pump the brakes on that one, big dog.
Honorable mention for catcher is Will Smith from the Dodgers. He hit 370, 2 home runs, 190 WRC plus, and a 1.3 Fangraph WAR. So he had a good month of May as well at catcher.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the statistics for Mr. Freddie Freeman, the first baseman? I'll just say this. After watching the Dodgers completely this weekend, their team has become so much more hateable. I don't know why, with the little celebrations. I don't know. Their celebrations,
the Dodgers get a hit and they just start emoting. Like, they do all this wave, like the eye thing with Ohtani, and the Dodgers, they get a double, they get a home run, and they just start it's like Fortnite. They start doing all the Fortnite dances. It's like, all right, we get it. We get it. Like, you don't need to I don't know, man. It's a little over the top for me. The Yankees don't really do much when they hit a double. It's like, all right, yay, good job. Point to the dugout, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. The Dodgers they do kind of bug me with all these freaking celebrations they do after they get a hit.
It's just I don't know if you watched the Tommy Edman interview. I feel like every single Dodger is trained to say the same thing about Shohei Ohtani. Yeah, he's great. I don't know how he does it, but he's great. He's such a great guy, And we got to see in Japan how big of a star he is in Japan, and it's so hard for him. I'm like, yeah, they say the same thing.
Well, and I think part of that is the questions that they get teed up. Stop asking people, whether it's a Dodger teammate or another player in Major League Baseball, stop asking them questions about what is it like watching Shohei Ohtani do what he does? Or what's it like being on Ohtani team? Can you describe his impact on the team? You're going to get the same answer every single time. Stop teeing him up for these boring questions. Ask him something maybe more interesting. I don't know. What does Ohtani do? What does Ohtani eat for breakfast? What does Ohtani what does Ohtani do in his free time? That's stuff I care more about, because you're just going to get the same cookie cutter answers when you're asking him about Ohtani and his approach to baseball. They're just going to say, oh my God, he's the best player I've ever seen. There's not much to learn there at this point.
What does Ohtani prefer? Does he like money lines or alternate spreads? That's a Jesus. Does he like alternate spreads or he's like money lines? That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, how is marriage doing for him? Since we're on the topic of marriage, how's his marriage going? How does he manage marriage? Ask him those questions.
Yeah. How's his kid? He had a kid now, right? How's his kid doing?
Yeah, how's his kid doing? I mean, kid probably can't talk yet, but how's the kid doing? Happy, healthy, eating a lot of formula. That was
all right. First base was Freeman. I mean, 410 batting average on the month of May, 1.7 Fangraph WAR, 4 home runs, 21 ribbies. He was great. 1.100 OPS. Kind of I feel like he's underrated all time. People don't talk much about Freddie Freeman in terms of the all-time great first baseman, but I think he's in that conversation. He's been just timeless wonder, Freddie Freeman.
I do feel that. My question is, do you feel if Freddie Freeman stayed in Atlanta, that he'd have a World Series ring? Another one?
2 at this point? How different would that Braves team look with him in the fold? It's hard to say. I mean, probably. Look what he did in the World Series against the Yankees last year. The Dodgers arguably don't win that World Series without Freddie Freeman and what he does. So, sure, I'd say he'd probably at least have another World Series appearance with the Braves.
Yeah. Well, Freddie Freeman. Next player on our list is Brendan Donovan. Second base was kind of weak this month. There wasn't many. The only other honorable mention I could say is Brandon Lau, who has been raking, but Brendan Donovan again having a great year for the Cardinals at second base.
Yeah, he hit 323 in May. Only one home run, but he had a 1 Fangraph WAR, 141 WRC plus. Brandon Lau had 7 home runs. Ketel Marte had 8 home runs, but they both, well, Lau hit 281. Marte hit 253, but we're going with Donovan. Just feel like he's super important to that Cardinals team, playing a key role in keeping them relevant this season. Ernie Clement also had a good month for Toronto, hitting 306 with a 1.3 Fangraph WAR. He actually led WAR among second basemen this month. But yeah, giving it to Brendan Donovan, 23 points above 300 is pretty impressive for a month.
Next guy we got to talk about at shortstop, Jacob Wilson, man. What a dude. Jacob Wilson's May was ridiculous. Through May, he has been the top rookie in my opinion. He has been hitting the cover off the ball. He hit 4 hits yesterday against the Blue Jays.
Yeah, we're 2 months into the season, and he's hitting 357 with a 900 OPS, 7 home runs, 396 OBP. Like, at what point are we like, okay, this guy is in MVP conversation? Obviously not going to win, but going to get votes. He's been incredible this season. In the month of May, he hit 368, 1.7 Fangraph WAR, led shortstops in the whole league. 4 homers, 3 stolen bases. His walk rate, 9.2, doesn't strike out, 6.7 K rate in the month. Jacob Wilson is one of the better rookie seasons in recent memory at this point. Last year, Luis Gil won the American League Rookie of the Year. It's going to probably be, if he stays healthy, it's going to be Jacob Wilson. Some honorable mentions for shortstop, Jeremy Pena, who's having an under-the-radar season. Geraldo Perdomo for Arizona. You got Trey Turner had a big month for Philly. Mason Wynn, Bo Bichette, and Dansby Swanson. Dansby Swanson, 293, batting average with 6 home runs. Much needed kind of bounce back month for him. He's kind of had a power surge this year. So, but we're giving it to Wilson. He's been really fun to watch for Oakland, or for Sacramento, whatever. They've been pretty damn bad lately, if we're being honest.
Whatever. I think the biggest thing about the Jacob Wilson thing is that now he got bumped up in the order in May. He was hitting in the back half of the lineup, and it was starting to change at the end of April, but now he's hitting now consistently. He's either at the top of the order at first or he's number 2.
Yeah.
It's either him and Lawrence Butler are kicking it off for the Sacramento Athletic, So.
Yeah. Who's your third baseman? Our third baseman?
My third baseman is Jose Ramirez.
Not even a debate.
He's ridiculous. I think he might be the most underrated player in the Major League Baseball. We probably have said it, multiple weeks, but J-Ram has been, he is unlucky in the fact that he is stuck in the Judge and Trout era. If it was for any other era, he'd probably have an MVP.
He is perennially, in my opinion, the most underrated player in all of baseball. We talk all the time about who's underrated, who's flying under the radar. In terms of like conversations of the best hitters in the sport, it's always Ohtani, it's Judge, it's Bobby Witt, and all deservedly so. No one ever brings up Jose Ramirez. And I think he's just consistently that dude that is just completely disrespected. He hit 386 in the month of May with a 1.8 Fangraph WAR, 5 homers, 8 stolen bases. He does it all for Cleveland. He's for a lineup that has been strong, he's always been kind of the one bat that you're scared of, though, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of guys produce in that lineup, but they don't terrify you, certainly when it comes to a playoff series. J-Ram is the one dude that's on your list every single time. He had like a 22-game hitting streak in May. I mean, he's so much fun to watch, and just pure class. I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Going to get his number retired from the Guardians. Was inches away from a World Series in 2016. Didn't get over the hill there. Close-ish last year in the ALCS. There have been some good Guardians teams since he's been there. I don't think he's probably never going to get a World Series, but unless he gets traded somewhere. But kind of a timeless wonder, just keeps doing it year in, year out, stays healthy for most of the time. Just super impressive player, honestly.
Don't say trade. they'll say that, because if somebody hears this, you know that the edits will be out with like him in a Yankee jersey or some like big jersey, you know?
I'm going to pull up his contract while you go to left field.
Left field, James Wood. I mean, where would the Nationals be without the Juan Soto trade package? That might be a highway robbery. Like Juan Soto for James Wood, and you also had Robert Hassel Jr. No, Robert Hassel the third. Harleen Susana. Who else did they get back? They got not Ethan Salas, but they got Mackenzie Gore and CJ Abrams. Like, where would the Nationals be? James Wood needs to be on the home run derby. Like, the dude is hitting bombs. This year he's hitting 16 homers and he has an OPS of 952, a slugging of 567, 44 RBIs, hitting 286. He's already had a WAR of 2.7.
He's been so much fun to watch, and I saw Major League Baseball, their Instagram, they posted like an all MLB team so far this season, and they had Soto on as the second teamer, which is just a total joke, putting him behind.
Can we just talk about those teams, how bad they've been? Sorry, but like the Juan Soto one, like he just said, was awful, but there were some really bad picks on that one.
Yeah, I don't have it up in front of me, to be honest. But
that's how bad it was.
The glaring one was that they put Soto above Wood, who has been, like you said, he's been incredible this season. In the month of May, he hit 7 home runs, had 6 stolen bases, 23 ribbies, 330 batting average, 177 WRC plus. He led left fielders in Fangraph WAR. Dude has been just a total revelation for the Nationals, who are fun now. They had a fun series in Arizona over the weekend, winning 2 out of 3. They have a lot of young talent. You know, Dylan Cruz has been hurt, but I think once he starts to bang, and he will start to hit eventually, they have a bright future. It's not going to be this year that they put it all together, but I think they're like maybe next year or the year after, they're going to start to compete in that division. I know they got some big spenders in Philly and New York, but I think they're going to start to be players in that division, man. If you do honorable mentions in left field, Taylor Ward hit 10 homers. Helio Ramos hit 347. Riley Green had a good month for Detroit. Stephen Kwan had a good month. Jason Dominguez actually had a decent month for the Yankees. But I did pull up that J-Ram contract, and he's under contract through 2028. He's at about $20 million a year over the next, counting this year, be 4 seasons. So after this year, he has 3 seasons under contract. The Guardians aren't going to trade him because they're good, but if the Guardians kind of want to rebuild their future, we know they're not going to really sign free agents. If the Guardians want to set their future, they trade J-Ram. I think it would be kind of sacrilegious for them to do so. He's a franchise legend, arguably one of the top 3 players in that franchise's history. It's a storied franchise, you know. I don't know, man. It's interesting because he's 32. He's in his prime. And, you know, he would require a king's ransom to get him, considering he's under contract for so long, but underrated player.
Center field, Pete Crow Armstrong. Do we have to talk about this?
No, we talk enough about PCA. He had another good game yesterday. The K rate's bad. It's about 30, but he had a big month of May. TJ Friedl, honorable mention, had a good month for Cincinnati, hit 344. Bellinger also played some center field. And then you got Jake Myers for Houston, hit 327, had a good month. And then J-Rod did have a good month, 6 homers. Darth Varsho hit 7 home runs, but PCA led center fielders with 9, which is just crazy. And Chandler Simpson had 16 stolen bases, but got optioned on Saturday.
Yeah, talk about the logic right there. Haha. Right field, all rise, Aaron Judge.
Yes.
And then Ryan O'Hearn is our utility man. Kyle Tucker, you got honorable mention. And then our DH, I'm going with Rafi Devers. I put my foot on that one. We're not going to give Shohei Ohtani. We get it. You're great. But Rafi Devers is legit. Like, talk about a dude after the whole month that he had meeting with John Henry and Craig Breslow, which Craig Breslow had some interesting comment this weekend when he went down to Atlanta talking about the Red Sox, saying that they're just not good enough.
I could tell you that.
And we'll talk about that later when we talk about the whole Atlanta-Boston series. But Rafi Devers, man, like, he single-handedly has held the Red Sox up in the month of May, you know.
Yeah, he hit 356, 7 home runs, 33 RBI. I know RBIs are like a dead stat, but 33 is really impressive. 199 WRC plus, He was behind Ohtani in a lot of these stats. I mean, Ohtani hit 15 home runs in May. I think it's a little disrespectful that we maybe didn't put Ohtani as this one. But you had the deciding pick this month because I had it last month. So we did give it to Devers over Ohtani. 15 home runs in a month is crazy. I think that was actually a Dodgers franchise record. But it's okay. It's okay. Right field, obviously, was Judge, and honorable mention to O'Hearn, who kind of played all over the place. We put him as our utility guy. And Kyle Tucker had a good month.
But he's elite. Devers is elite. I mean, let's just talk about it. Like, Rafi Devers is elite. One of the best third basemen in the game. Third baseman. Keyword is third baseman. Not first baseman, not DH. That is my third baseman. That is my guy. I will stand by him.
Who's our hitter of the month?
Hitter of the month, easy. Jacob Wilson.
Jacob Wilson
or Cal Raleigh or Aaron Judge. You pick one of those three.
I'll give it to Cal Raleigh.
It depends. Pick your poison. Do you want all around hitting? Do you just want to be, you want to be biased and you want to just be like every other, be like Major League Baseball? Major League Baseball on Friday night was having the time of their life. Like, MLB baseball admin, IG admin was probably like I won't put the picture, but I think you guys can interpret how they were when they saw Judge and Ohtani both hit homers. They were probably losing their craps at HQ.
Too bad the game was on a streaming service that absolutely nobody has, and probably no one actually saw it live except the fans of the teams.
Don't put smut on Apple TV's name. Apple TV makes some quality television.
They have some great television, but look what happened to MLS. They put the whole league on Apple TV Plus, and no one watches it.
Don't put smut on MLB on Apple TV. Relax.
What do you work for Apple or something?
They're one of our partners. Chill.
Actually, I'm flipping my pick. I'm giving it to Judge. He had 364 in the month. Come on.
Yeah, chill. Like, let's not put smut on Apple TV's name. They got Ted Lasso. You got Severance. They got some quality, man.
Masters of the Air with Austin Butler was a really good show that I watched last year. I love that one.
Yeah, you know more Apple TV shows than I know.
I'm a big Austin Butler guy. You like Austin Butler?
I have no idea who he is.
You don't know who Austin Butler is?
No. What are you talking about? Who is he?
The guy that he played Elvis in the Elvis movie. Austin Butler. He's at the Cubs game with Jeremy Allen White the other day. You'll know him if you see him.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, Jeremy Allen White. I love how now Hollywood actors are getting multiple names, like Jeremy Allen White from The Beef.
Yeah, The Bear.
I thought it was called The Beef.
It's called The Bear. Oh my gosh, you're not locked into television, are you?
No, because I've been watching, because I think TV is so bad right now. I just watch Major League Baseball, and I watch reruns of Californication, Weeds, and Entourage, and Eastbound & Down on my computer. Like, that's just quality television.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those.
Highly recommend. But regardless, we got that done. Pitchers, I think pitchers was very easy. Mr. Tariq Skubal, Robbie Ray, Chris Bubik, Andrew Abbott, and Carlos Rodon are our pitchers of the month.
Yes.
Randy Rodriguez, Johan Duran, Carlos Estevez, with honorable mentions to Ben Casparius and Ryan Helsley.
Yep.
What do you think? What do you think, guy?
Honorable mention starters: Nick Martinez had a good month. Chad Patrick for the Brewers. Brian Wu for Seattle.
Will Warren, honorable mention.
Will Warren, that blow-up start on Saturday, the last day of the month, hurt him. Max Fried, honorable mention. And Zach Wheeler had a good month. Framber Valdez had a really good start on Friday and good month overall. Kind of a resurgent month for him. Sale, 1.11 ERA in the month of May. We got to see him start in Boston. And Chris Paddock had a good month too. Also Ryan Pepio. So a lot of good starting pitching lately, obviously, as always, kind of.
Let's talk about what happened the weekend that was in Major League Baseball. As William was walling Masterminds of the Galaxy and Elvis with Austin Butler, I was watching baseball this weekend. Let's start out.
What was that laugh? That was a devious laugh.
Let's start up in New York. Colorado at the Mets. The Mets swept the Rockies. I mean, the Rockies started out a horrible weekend because they started out not horrible, but they started off their weekend with the Northern Lights, or I can't know. They posted a picture of them traveling.
Yeah, they posted a picture of them traveling. They saw the northern lights from the plane, and everyone was grilling them, saying their social media team's turning into a travel account because they don't want to talk about the actual games.
They're awful. I mean, the Mets should have swept them. I mean, Cody Senga had a great start on Saturday. Sunday, Orlando Arcia went yard, and then you had Clayton Holmes have a 7 innings, 3 hit, 3 earned, 3 strikeout start on Sunday. I mean, they swept them. I mean, Friday night they did one, didn't out my case, out at my debate at the bar. I met a Mets fan. Let me just give you story time. I know story times can go left or right. I know William's probably on the edge of his seat right now, not knowing what to do, thinking that he might have to edit this out. He's low-key having a crisis. It's like
It's not live. It's not live, so it's all right.
But it's like when Kendrick Perkins speaks on ESPN. I know ESPN producers are having the time of their lives.
More so with Pat McAfee, I feel like.
Yeah,
that dude says whatever comes to his mind.
That's my guy, Pat McAfee. But in regards, so I was at the bar. I had the Yankee game on. I was at a concert. Great artists. We were there. And, one of our friends, she asked me, she's one of my friend's friends. And she asked me, oh, what are you watching? I'm watching the Yankees game. So I was like, oh, cool. She's from New York. And so concert ends. I'm still watching the game. We go outside. I go pick up some tacos. I was hungry. I wanted to eat. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. The game was still going on. Just know that the game was still going on at 1 a.m. in the morning. And we started talking about, she asked me, oh, sorry, I don't know how the conversation got, but I was watching the game and she asked me, oh, I'm a Mets fan. And I was like, I don't like the Yankees. I like the Mets because their reliever comes out the trumpets. And I'm like, that's the freaking closer. And then the best thing was I like Citi Field because the food is way better. And I'm like, how can you put some disrespect on the chicken tenders, the freaking chicken tenders and the tiramisu? And they were like, oh, yeah, but Citi has like loaded nachos and barbecue. And I'm like,
the food I can't speak to. I haven't been to Citi Field in like 10 plus years. So it's been a long time. Yankee Stadium was there obviously last year twice. The food is fine. I like the 99 burger, Aaron Judge. That's a good bite. The chicken tender buckets it's fun. It's crazy expensive. But in terms of overall vibe, Yankee Stadium wins every time.
But regardless, Mets got the sweep. Another sweep, Orioles got the sweep versus the White Sox. I think the biggest thing about this one is that the Orioles will be sellers if results continue. I mean, they got some pieces like Felix Bautista, Cedric Mullins, Ryan O'Hearn. What are we feeling, William?
They do have pieces. I think Ryan O'Hearn will be highly sought after at the deadline if he is going to be available. Same goes for Sugano, their starting pitcher. He has been strong for them this season. Charlie Morton went 6+ in back-to-back starts, one against St. Louis, one against the White Sox. 2 earned runs against St. Louis, no earned runs against Chicago. So he's been better. I don't think he's going to be a trade deadline piece, but what is there to say about Baltimore? I think they've dug themselves too big of a hole. Despite this sweep, they're still 14 games back in the East right now, and they got Seattle and the Athletics this week. So West Coast swing for them. Maybe, hey, if they keep stacking wins, they can crawl themselves into a wild card spot. It'd take a ton, but yeah, I think they're going to be sellers.
I'm not ready to put the fork in the Orioles.
Okay.
I feel like they're on life support. They're in medically induced coma right now. That's what I feel like.
Yeah,
we are waiting to pull the plug on them, but I feel like there's some type of pulse there.
The bats, the pitching is just going to be tough.
Yeah, definitely. Brewers beat the Phillies.
Yeah.
Brewers, Jesus Luzardo was awful. Blew up my fantasy team. Like, how can you leave a pitcher in for 12 earned runs? Like, let's talk about it.
That start probably burned his Cy Young candidacy this year.
Yeah,
because he was hitting into the game. He was at a 2.15 ERA, and now he's up to a 3.58 after going 3 1/3 and giving up 12 earned runs. Like that, you can't really win a Cy Young with that kind of start. Just cratered his ERA.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Phillies this weekend, it was like Bozo Gene was ridiculous. Friday, the pen was great, but T1 Walker wasn't great. And then yesterday, Ranger Suarez again was pretty good. Got him enough done. Got him one earned run, and then the pen just absolutely went and got to again Romano and Kerkering. And so now the Brewers have now swept Boston and Philadelphia this week. Which, what a week for the Brewers. Like, it was a week or a week and a half ago that their manager was going at ownership for not spending any money on bats. And look at them now.
Yeah, they've won 3 of 4 series. The one that they didn't win, they tied Pittsburgh 2-2. They're 5.5 back in the Central. Cubs keep playing really good baseball, but they're on a 7-game winning streak. They're in striking distance in the wild card, only 1.5 back of that third wild card spot right now. So they've been playing good baseball. And then Philly getting swept out of in 3 games, and the Mets sweeping Colorado. The Mets now hopped Philadelphia and took first place of the National League East. Only a game up right now, but the Mets do have the lead in that division now.
That's what I say. I think Milwaukee will be in it at the end. They're pesky. They're the definition of pesky.
They are pesky. Their rotation's been banged up too all season, and hopefully
Chad Patrick is making a case for the NL Rookie of the Year. I
feel
like and he's been very under talked about. Let's put it that way.
And AJ Smith-Shawver, Tommy John surgery, he's going to be out for the season for Atlanta, so he drops out of the Rookie of the Year race.
And that's this next series I wanted to talk about. Red Sox won 2 out of 3, winning Friday, and then yesterday, what a great start from Gerrit Cole. I actually watched it live. He got a little bit unlucky with an Ozuna homer and two little league hits off the jam shots that and any other better if the Red Sox had better defense, Crochet could have easily pitched the whole game and been a complete game. There's a really costly error for Christian Campbell that didn't get him a double play and extended the inning. So that's another thing. But man, the Red Sox and the Braves, 2 teams that are all like really yo-yo. I mean, I said that Breslow said that they're not good enough. I mean, there's still questions about Roman Anthony. I'll go out and say it right now. I have a hot take. You can clip this up. I think Roman Anthony will be playing this weekend against the Yankees. I think the Red Sox are trying to be looking at how they've been operated lately. I feel like the whole Netflix documentary series was done to buy goodwill with the fan base, because think about it. Those fans aren't happy from the Mookie Betts trade. People don't talk about how bad that Mookie Betts trade was. They're going to talk about the Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis trade like being a heist, but the Mookie Betts trade is 100% times worse for what they got back, and they haven't spent money in the market. And so how do we make goodwill with the fan base? Hey, let's pump up these young players, our next nucleus, into the fan eye, and let's get them to forget everything going wrong with the team. Let's put a whole Netflix documentary about it. That's where you do it. And Roman Anthony's not getting called up. Let's call him up against the Yankees, because if we call him up against the Yankees and he gets his first MLB hit or a homer, everybody in Massachusetts will be like, my next son will be Roman Anthony.
We'll be named Roman.
Yeah, but think about it. It's just smart. It's just they're playing like the team's not doing as expected. They said the team's not doing great, and they're not getting a vote of confidence from the as they would call it, the chief operating baseball officer, CBO. So, and they don't have a first base. Like, there's a lot going wrong. I think Roman will be called up by the Yankee series.
Okay. I mean, I made the case for him to get called up last week. I think it's ridiculous that he hasn't been called up so far. So I could see it this week. Yeah, I saw what's his name? Jared Carabas with the Red Sox podcast he does. They were saying that they think he's going to be called up pretty soon too. So hopefully it happens. Like you said, Crochet, though, elite, career high 112 pitches on Sunday, season high 12 strikeouts. His ERA is down to a 1.98. I think he's in that American League Cy Young conversation alongside Max Fried and some others. Good series win for the Red Sox. They needed it, and the Braves continue to struggle. It's actually the second series they played against each other this year. The first one we saw, obviously, in Fenway. I guess they have that protected rivalry against each other this season. which is interesting. Those interleague protected rivalries.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Atlanta. I think Atlanta's done. I think they're a good team, but we have to look done. And I have a trivia question for you. Atlanta, tell me the teams that tell me Atlanta only has a record better than 3 NL teams. And guess which are the 3 NL teams?
They only I'll say Colorado, obviously. Miami and Pittsburgh.
Yep, those are the only 3 teams that have a better record in the NL.
Wow.
And again, it's getting late. Nationals are up there. I know this weekend they play Arizona. They have a big series coming up this week, starting tomorrow. They have Arizona coming to town, which I mean, Arizona is a team we'll go ahead and talk about right now. Arizona played the Nationals this weekend, and they lost a series 2 out of 3. That is 2 series losses in a row for the Diamondbacks. And if you were to add the Cardinal series, that's another series loss. The Dodgers, they lost that one. Like, they haven't won a series since May 17th, which was against the Rockies. And everybody beats the Rockies. Like, that's not great. I think the biggest thing about this one is that Corbin Burnes got hurt. He may be done for the season. I know X/Twitter lip readers were like, oh, yeah, my elbow is done, paraphrasing what they think about Corbin Burnes, which is pretty unlucky for a team that's predominantly built around starting pitching. And it just bodes to start the question, my guy, should we start being concerned about these large pitching contracts? When you do the statistical analysis that I decided to do statistical analysis last night, large starting pitching contracts really, they work they work sometimes and they don't work. A lot of times they lean don't. When you make that strong financial commitment to a pitcher, I like thinking about them as used cars. A used car, the older that it is, the higher amounts of probability that you can get into it breaking down. That's the same with the pitchers. The older the pitcher is, the higher chances that the guy can get hurt. Like the older, because he has more innings logged up and whatnot. And it's also sports cars. William, how much does it cost you to get a Ferrari to get an oil change?
A lot.
Okay, so think about it like that with starting pitchers. Think about starting pitchers that throw 100. They throw pretty hard, and when they get hurt, it's not like 2 weeks. If you remember last year, you remember seeing that graphic that they made out of the first 20. That how many of those guys were out of those 20? It was like 15 of them got hurt out of the top 20 velos in Major League Baseball for pass balls. Mm-hmm. And when you look at starting pitchers, you already got Corbin Burnes down. You already got Gerrit Cole. DeGrom's been down already, very young into that contract. Blake Snell's down. Tyler Glasnow's down. Yu Darvish is always down, it feels like. Joe Musgrove, down. Lance McCullers, down. Eduardo Rodriguez. That's 9 out of the top 20 pitchers in value of contracts that have already gotten hurt and suffered long absences in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. You also got Eovaldi, who got a contract over the offseason. He's hurt now. I kind of think maybe what the Mets are doing, the new wave, is to take the approach that the Mets have. And we're not going to go out and try to sign one of the top free agent arms. We're going to kind of not necessarily bargain bin, but kind of build around the edges and trust our pitching development system to develop the pitchers into high value starting pitchers. You think of a Clay Holmes, converted reliever. They got him at not elite top money for a starting pitcher. Sean Manaea, $75 million. That's manageable. That's not too much money. They brought in Frankie Montas. Like, they didn't go out and splash cash. The only real pitching free agent that the contract that worked out so far this season, knock on wood, is Max Fried. He got the most for any starter this year, $218 million. And he's been Cy Young caliber. But like you said, Burnes, Snell, Manaea, Eovaldi, all hurt. Tanner Scott has been healthy, but he's been struggling. You're always going to pay pitchers because they are arguably the most valuable position in the entire sport. But at what point do front offices start to question giving out these $100 million plus contracts to starting pitchers? Are we going to see more front offices take the approach of what the Mets are doing? I think that's going to be interesting. Another one that you didn't mention from 2024. Well, obviously Ohtani hasn't pitched since he got that major deal. Yamamoto, that deal was a success, but Aaron Nola got $172 million in the 2024 offseason. And this year he's been terrible, to be frank, and he is now hurt. It's just, there's a lot of dudes that when you go back and look at these free agent pitcher lists, it's not pretty, man. Like these mega deals, a lot of like the Rodon deal, he was hurt the first half of the season in 2023 after that deal, and he had struggled. He was the second highest paid free agent that year. Struggled in the first 2 years of his deal, but now he's finally putting it together. I don't know, man. Like Edwin Diaz was hurt. Kodai Senga was hurt last year.
Edwin Diaz was different. It was a celebration injury.
It was a fluke injury. Yeah, it was a fluke injury for sure.
But I think we've hammered home the point that, regardless of that, couple games to run through quickly before we hop off. Cubs won 2 out of 3. Again, I think it's getting really late for the Reds. Cubs are just a wagon. Brewers are playing really good baseball. Cardinals are playing really good baseball. I just may think it's too late for the Reds.
Yeah, Andrew Abbott's been great. His ERA is down to a 1.51. 7 innings scoreless on Friday. Only 1 hit allowed. That was their lone win, though, of the series. But good moment, sad moment, somber moment. But on Sunday, Ellie De La Cruz hit a home run in the 6th inning off Jameson Taillon, actually the day after his sister passed away. So sad, obviously. The fact that he was even playing was impressive. Says a lot about his, his mental fortitude. Emotional, but really sad that obviously what happened there. But it kind of reminded me a little bit of when D. Gordon hit that home run against whoever the day after Jose Fernandez passed away. Same kind of thing there. Yeah. Emotional.
Off that note, Toronto swept the Athletics. Athletics struggling. The Athletics are tough. It's just the pitching for them. They won 12-0 Thursday, 11-7, 8-7, 8-4. Yesterday's game was really tough because the Athletics had control all the way up till the end, and the bullpen lost it. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is starting to heat up. Look at his savant page and his advanced metrics. It's getting red. He's heating up.
Good.
I feel Toronto could be that team that pushes the Yankees if the Red Sox don't make necessary moves. It could be Toronto. How we feel about that?
Yeah, they're turning it on, man. They're 3 games over 500, only a half game back for the 3rd wild card spot in the American League. They beat Texas and Oakland. I'll just keep saying Oakland, whatever. They beat both of those teams in series this week after getting swept against Tampa before that. But they did sweep San Diego this year. So they got Philly and Minnesota this week, and then St. Louis, and then Philly again, and then Arizona. So kind of a tough stretch for them. They don't play the Yankees again until the very end of June. So that's a 4-game set in Toronto.
Yeah, big month of the Yankees in regards to AL East play. They got 2 series coming up versus the Red Sox, and then at the end of the month they got the series with the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I think the Blue Jays are an interesting team to watch over the next couple of weeks. Can they keep this hot streak going with the bats, or do they start to cool off a little bit and maybe fall back closer to 500? Because I do think there's an opportunity here for them to really push that record up there and maybe solidify a wild card spot, maybe get within 3-4 games of the Yankees before that series at the end of the month. I think they're one of the more interesting teams to follow this month.
Yeah. Quickly, some series that there's not much to discuss. Guardians won 2 out of 3 against the Angels. Mike Trout's back from injury, had a 3-hit game on Saturday. Giants won 2 out of 3 against the Marlins. Robbie Ray was really strong on Saturday, but he had no run support, lost 1-0. Mm-hmm. Detroit, again, staying hot, winning 2 out of 3 against the Royals. Another series win for the Tigers. Crazy enough that the Tigers lost a Skubal start and that the Royals lost the Bubik start. So they ended up trading wins. Any thoughts about those?
Skubal, 7 scoreless, was great. They lost that start. I think he's starting to really push for that American League Cy Young because he kind of has the best metrics amongst all the starting pitchers in that league, and I think you might see Fried start to level off and get back to reality a little bit. He's looking to become the first back-to-back Cy Young winner since
Back-to-back Cy Young winner.
trivia question. Don't Google it. Don't Google it.
Max Scherzer.
No, but same kind of vibe.
Max Scherzer, Roy Halladay.
No, or earlier, 2018, 2019.
Oh, that's probably the DeGrom years.
Yeah, DeGrom.
DeGrom. DeGrom. Jacob DeGrom. Hey, that Jacob DeGrom does not throw anything over like 95 anymore, which is pretty crazy. I mean, Texas had a good weekend this weekend. They won. They had DeGrom. Actually, I didn't watch the start yesterday, but they got the dub yesterday. They won 2 out of 3 against St. Louis. Rangers won 8-1 and 11-1. DeGrom went 6, 4 hits, 1 earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Like the dude's just getting it done somehow.
Vintage. Before this series on Friday, we said we could declare the Rangers dead if they don't come through with the bats, and clap it up. They did. The bats came through this weekend for them.
So we would agree this week that the series that we're watching is the Braves versus Diamondbacks. That's the funeral series. It's like the old like boxing. I don't know if you kept up with like old boxing, but it was like eliminator series. Like whoever lost it would not have a chance to win the title. So that's what I feel that one is.
I'm going to be tuned into Phillies Blue Jays too.
That's another one. What else we got from this weekend? We talked about that one. Tampa Bay, Houston, they split. Seattle and Minnesota. Seattle won 2 out of 3. Seattle stays hot.
That was a fun series. A lot of really good games.
Yeah, Cal Raleigh is elite. As we talked about, a lot of Andres Munoz blown saves. We had 2 blown saves, one on Friday and then one on Sunday.
We had 3 blown saves in this series. Munoz blew 2. He blew 1 on Friday, blew 1 on Sunday, gave up his first earned runs of the season on Friday night. And then so it was tied after 9, and then the Twins scored 6 in the 10th to win. And then on Saturday, the Mariners won 5-4 and 11. Cal Raleigh had another home run. But it was Carlos Vargas blew the save for the Mariners. And then Cole Young in his first Major League Baseball game had a walk-off fielder's choice. And the Mariners won on Saturday. And then on Sunday, Munoz blew again another save. Cal Raleigh homer again, 23. And then Randy Arozarena had a walk-off RBI single off Griffin Jacks.
And then finally, Pittsburgh loses another series to San Diego, losing 2 out of 3. That was our final weekend.
No comments on that one.
No comments, real scenes. I mean, I was watching College World Series. I got to watch a lot of local, like we talked about earlier, a lot of local talent out in the College World Series. I know William's big on local talent. There's a guy in Kentucky from Olive Branch. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, there's a guy in Kentucky from Olive Branch. I mean, biggest shock of the weekend is Vandy went home. A lot of big blue blood. A lot of SEC programs went down last night.
It was the first time since 1999 that the top 2 seeds in the tournament did not make the Super Regionals. Vandy gets eliminated. They lose to Wright State. Almost lost to Wright State twice. They should have lost the first game on Friday, but they came back late. And then they lost to Wright State yesterday, so Louisville advances from that regional. And then Texas, the number 2 overall seed, they got eliminated, losing to UTSA yesterday. They lost to UTSA twice in that regional. You also had some other top seeds go down. Miami actually is playing Southern Miss today in the final game to try to advance your local team. Oregon, 12 overall seed, they are gone. Arkansas advances. Clemson, what?
Cal Poly knocked the Oregon out. Cal Poly's slow.
Yeah, but then Arizona advanced from that one. Clemson, number 11 overall seed, they're gone.
Oh, did you see that? Did you see that Twitter yesterday? We have to talk about that.
No, I didn't.
That so Clemson's kind of like they do a lot of like TikTok dances and dances post game, and like they lost to Kentucky. Like I can't remember the score of the game, but it was bad. But everybody was posting like the dances. Like, oh, imagine getting pumped in the first round, but your team does TikTok dances.
Clemson, I was watching a lot of games from that regional, and they don't have a warning track in their stadium. Really weird.
Didn't notice that. That's crazy.
It looks really weird. Also in the Baton Rouge regional, you have Little Rock, University of Arkansas, Little Rock. They have a losing record. They're 27-33. They beat LSU last night. So now they set up a final game in that regional. The winner goes to the Supers. UALR just got hot in their conference tournament and they won it. And now they're in the regionals and they beat Rhode Island 22-1, then beat Dallas Baptist and then beat LSU in the first game of the championship. They're looking to make the super regionals, which would be a crazy, crazy upset. LSU is the number 6 overall seed. Tennessee and Wake Forest, they're playing a final game today. Winner goes to the super regionals. Please, Wake Forest, win that game. Like, please. Georgia, number 7 overall seed, lost. And I can't stand Tennessee baseball, man. With all due respect, I can't. Everything about that program drives me crazy. I can't stand it. They are the biggest losers, man. Like they celebrate and they just act like the biggest tool bags, hitting these home runs. They're flipping off the pitcher. Basically, it's like just classless baseball. So I hope Tennessee loses. I'm sorry, you hit it. I brought it up, but Tennessee just strikes a nerve with me, man. That baseball program.
It was like Georgia baseball. I don't know if you saw Georgia. I don't know if you saw the Georgia-Oklahoma State game yesterday, but it was an elimination game yesterday. It was yesterday afternoon. You were probably driving. It was 7-7, and then Georgia went up 9-7. They hit a home run, and the Georgia player, like all the Georgia players, have 3 buttons down on their shirts, and then they hit a home run, and the Georgia player held onto the bat and walked it midway through the dugout, looked over at the Oklahoma State dugout, and threw it towards the dugout of Oklahoma State.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
and they lost.
They did. They lost. Oklahoma State ended up coming back and winning 11-9 in the 9th. Like, they ended up winning. But, I mean, a lot of top seeds going down. I mean, Vandy going down, Texas going down. I feel Texas is kind of karma for the Texas A&M coach whole ordeal. How the A&M left and went to Texas, tried to get the whole team to go.
College baseball is insane. These guys, like, they are ruthless with what they do. It's like, in Major League Baseball, you're getting drilled for some of the stuff these guys do in college baseball. I guess it's kind of fun. Personally, maybe for me, a little bit of a boomer take. It's like, all right, let's respect the game a little bit more, respect your opponent. I don't know. There's a certain level you can take it to. I think college baseball in some instances takes it a little bit too far.
Kentucky was emoting. No offense to Kentucky, but they were like emoting like, you know, the Dodgers emoted like crazy. Some of the emotes they were doing, I was like, whoa. Like they were literally like coming to the air. I was like, yo, what is this?
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. I'll be curious to see what happens in that Little Rock series.
Did you see the Coastal Carolina series with the beef between the coaches? Like every single coach they're all beefing against each other. Florida's out and they were in the World Series last year. Like, man, it's just crazy
It is. It's the Wild West.
What do you think about the SEC though? Like before we hop off, the SEC's been struggling. I mean, Mississippi State's out. Ole Miss, they need to win another one today to make it. Yeah. I mean, Ole Miss's environment's pretty crazy. Everybody's like shirtless to the point, and like they throw up beers. Like
they throw the beers in right field when they hit a home run. I'm telling you, man, college baseball is the Wild West. Alabama gone, Vandy gone. I don't know. Baseball is kind of one of those sports where you can't really judge what happens in the tournament and judge a conference on it. Just, baseball is weird. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day. And then also you have the Women's College World Series. Oklahoma is trying to win 5 straight national championships. I really like watching softball. It's fun. And I was watching last night. Oklahoma took down Oregon. So now it's Texas Tech versus Oklahoma in the semis, and Oklahoma has to beat Texas Tech twice. We also have Tennessee versus Texas on the other side of the bracket, trying to get to the championship game or championship series. Texas beat Oklahoma's first loss of that one. So can Oklahoma win 5 straight national championships? They got to beat Tech twice. I think they probably ultimately do beat Tech twice. And then a Texas Oklahoma championship series would be crazy.
So now that Vandy's out, who are we rooting for in the men's side?
On the men's side, I mean, probably Arkansas Little Rock for the Cinderella story. But
are we hopping on the Ole Miss train?
Yeah, Ole Miss. Whoever's playing Tennessee, of course.
Anybody but Tennessee. You're like me, but it's like anybody but Arsenal to win the Champions League.
And last year, I was anybody but Tennessee to win the College World Series, and Tennessee won. So they're trying to go back to back. But Yeah, that game's at 5 Central, Wake Forest, Tennessee today. So
yeah, we'll tap in. We'll tap in. So
let's tap in, man. I love the regional weekend's always a lot of fun, and then supers are great. I mean, the men's tournament is really fun to watch. So
the only thing about the men's tournament is those games are long. I'll tell you.
dude, oh my god,
Those
I was
games
telling
are
you about this.
so long. I should have started the podcast with this, but like this will be something like really good, you know. But like yesterday, I had things to do. I got it done. And in the afternoon, I was like, okay, the College World Series on. I definitely want to watch Tennessee. I want to watch Ole Miss. I'm trying to watch Vandy. I missed the whole Vandy game because I was so stuck watching the Clemson Kentucky game, and then the Ole Miss game literally started at like 3, and I watched like an hour of it. Finished watching half of the Jays game. I went to the supermarket, seasoned my meat, and then I finished, and it was still the 8th inning. Like
Yeah,
the game was so long.
The first 5 innings of the Kentucky West Virginia game took, I think it was like 2.5, 3 hours on Sunday.
Last night, yeah.
Kayla and I were watching. It started at 5 Central. The Yankees started at 6 Central, and I think the Yankees game actually got further advanced in the game than the Kentucky West Virginia game. Like these games last way too long. And I'm pretty sure they have a pitch clock. I see a pitch clock running.
There's pitch clock because like I wondered, and I was watching Ole Miss Georgia Tech, and I see in the background there's a pitch clock.
Yeah, and they still take forever for whatever reason. I don't know.
I don't know, but
it's a 4-hour commitment if you're sitting down to watch a college baseball game, which is a little bit too much for me.
I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy that. I just don't enjoy the bats sometimes. I feel like the metal bats,
Yeah, it's a little league. I think. It's probably because the pitching isn't as good as the major leagues.
Oh, the pitching is not good. When you're letting up like Ole Miss, Georgia Tech was like 20 runs. Kentucky, West Virginia was crazy.
13-12. Yeah.
So
Ole Miss, Murray State 19-8. Yeah, it's just too much. Murray State, Georgia Tech 13-11. Like, yeah, it's just too much scoring. I mean, if you like runs, it's fun, but
I feel like runs, but
All right.
But in regards, we'll be back. Make sure you keep it locked on Instagram. Make sure you follow us, subscribe on YouTube, Twitter/X. William got a Substack article on the way.
At some point. It's been a minute, but trying to get back to some writing. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We're at 41 subscribers, so we keep gaining. We're trying to hit 100 by the end of the year. Thanks for listening as always. Luis, any final notes before we get out?
Oh, just going to be another great week of baseball.
Yeah. So enjoy the games. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. We will be back later. Until then, we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.